I am going to record this. Let me see. Hopefully the volume is fine. The reason I'm recording this video is I'm going through some conflicts. My conflict is, it's not like I love my teacher. My teacher is Nityananda. The conflict I have in the United States is we are about freedom of speech, freedom of culture, and different religion and stuff. And the space where I really need to focus on is to grow the space that I need to grow and get rid of the space I need to get rid of. So, not accepting to understand something is also not a true freedom. And one of the things I'm learning is whatever I'm projecting that makes me feel not in a space of bliss is not a true freedom for me. And something did cause a conflict because I was running the organization called Sangha. Sangha means like a network of people coming together to spread the teachings of the person you're following. And I was incorporating the teachings from others, and I did violate the rules, and I'm right now on the sidelines, I'm sitting on a bench, so to speak. So I have to get back on track. I need to do this properly. But the place I'm coming from is a space which was created because of my family situation, where we do have a very dysfunctional relationship, where when I was pregnant with my third child, my husband called the police. And in the United States, whoever calls the police first becomes the victim, and I was the abuser. I was pregnant with my child, and I had a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old at home. I couldn't even go in because the police told me if I knock on my door, they would have to arrest me for committing assault and battery. And here I was making the money, and I was in Brigham and Women's. I was working with Dr. Frank Hewlett, and I was paying the mortgage, but I was considered the abuser. And in the United States, I went to the temple, Sri Lakshmi temple, and I asked the priest, I said, hey, is there a possibility, can I come and live with you guys? And they said no, because of insurance, they cannot put me up. I went to the church, Roman Catholic church. It's called Medjugorje in Medway. They told me I need to, every Thursday night, come for 1 hour rosary. And after 9 months, I would get baptized, and then the elders will consider whether I can have a space to stay. So I went to the nearest 12-step program, and they told me, honey, just write, call me. And she wrote her phone number on the very last page. And she says, I'll come and pick you up. Me, it's not the teaching. It's am I there for people who are in my situation, who are trying to do the right thing, but still the life is not where they are supposed to be? Knowing there is a problem, I cannot walk away, saying that I am going to follow a religion which is not going to be helpful for the people who I need to hear. Because I was given the situation to understand what is okay, what's not okay. And I never ever want people to think somebody doesn't care. At the same time, where do I draw the line, saying what is the right thing to do or wrong thing to do? Because afterwards, I went to the other extreme, where I gave a homeless guy a space to stay in my apartment. After 2 years of staying in my place, he sued me, saying that his sink was dirty and cockroaches were there. And the court entertained that as well. And the court said that we argued on 6 points. I had to go to the law school to learn how to argue my own case. And the court said he sued that I gave him an uninhabitable space to stay. And I proved I rented to Section 8 before. So the court agreed it was habitable when I rented. Okay. So I won that point. But they said even though he lived there for 2 years, it's my responsibility for violating the sanitary code. Even though he was a squatter, he was not paying rent. I was asked to pay him $750 to move out for the first rent and to have him have this last month rent as well. So he'll have a safe place. So $1,500 for trying to help him. Okay. And then the second point we argued together, right? What I won versus he said I had unfair and deceptive practice, and I won that. They said no, I was fair and correct in my behaviors. But versus they said he was entitled for loss of quiet enjoyment of peace because I did ask him to move out, and they said that did disturb his peace. So he got another $750 from me. And then the third piece, which is very beautiful, was his lawyer said because he won 2 points, even though I won the points of giving him a um, habitable place to live, even though I was proved fair and correct in my um, ability to handle the situation. They said since he won 2 points as well, I was supposed to give him the fee of $2,250, but there was an injunction because he had a lawyer. He was on disability. He was 52 years old. And he's been on disability for 7 years, whereas I've been working in the United States from 2000, and I'm paying my taxes, and I'm having a place to live for this guy for 2 years. Plus, I was helping all my addiction patients to rebuild their lives for 2 years. I gave up my salary. I spent roughly around $35,000 per year to just raise 5 people to the next level. I was told his lawyer fee was $12,000. So I owed a homeless guy $14,250 to try to help. And that's when my teacher came into my life. He said to come into Sadashivoham because he says what I was doing was what I do not need to do, because I need to understand the rules of the life through the Vedic perspective, which was written 19 million years ago. And he says if I understand what the truth is, he says it will set me free. So I went there and he charged $13,000. And I had an option of paying the homeless guy $14,250 versus going and learning from my teacher how to live properly, $13,000. And I did choose to go to India because I felt the way I was living was not in harmony in the United States. I do love all religions, but I have chosen to walk the path of 12 steps. But when I went there, I thought I really heard him say you need to put back your energy to enrich others. So I meant I need to propagate Hinduism. But I guess I misunderstood. It's not what he's saying. I need to propagate Hinduism. He says, do it in a way you will bring the highest potential in you to others and have another person learn the right way to live. So I feel I'm going to really step back from being a Sangha, but instead to become a person who would propagate the teaching in a way that will bring completion. This is what he calls it, completion training, so that it would be in a way that is accepted to my patients and my community, and build micro shelter, because my name is Vatsu. In Rudra, there is a prayer that goes, Vittam chame, Viddhish chame, Bhutam chame, Budhish chame, Vasu chame, Vasadish chame, Karmas chame, Shaktis chame, Imish chame, Idish chame, Gadish chame. Cha me means grant me. So Vittam chame, Viddhish chame means for my offspring, give them the highest potential to earth. Bhutam Chame, Bhutishchame means give me all the ancestral richness on this earth that includes property, luxury, and stuff. Vasuchame means grant me the habitation to accommodate me and my people and help me with determination to successfully complete this process so that I'll reach my highest potential in my spiritual growth. This was the Rudra I have been following from January of last year. Because Rudra came into my life because there was an autistic guy who wants to meditate with me. See, he couldn't sit still. And the Rudra was the original meditation that formed this universe. Like how they say, word was with God, word became God. The vibration was what created the lights and the earth itself. Rudra was the primordial energy that was on top of Himalayas, who controls all five elements, and the whole universe fell into place. So for me, the lineage of the Rudra is the, uh, I think, Kapila Muni, who created this universe through the birds. And descendant of Kapila Muni is my teacher Nityananda, who is ordained as Mahamandaleshwar. He is the head of 13 subdivisions of this big Hindu tradition in India. And I feel and when I went there, I said I really wanted to be ordained to follow the spiritual path for my personal goal. And he ordained me as Anusuya, means not to find fault with others. And also Anusuya is the sister of Kapila. I didn't realize that relationship as well existed. And I'm a clairvoyant, and my teacher is a clairvoyant as well. So he teaches me in addition in energy. So there are so many things that fell into place for me. But that doesn't mean just because I do not follow a religion that I am disobeying my teacher or disobeying a religion or something. I have the perfect context with my teacher, and he corrects me. He pushes me to do my best. If I make an error, he gives me a very harsh timeout. And I respect that because I really do need to be grounded because I just goof around and sometimes I can say things that might not be appropriate, like my kids were saying, not in the right context, because I don't want to talk about meat to Hinduism because it is offensive to them. But at the same time, to my Christian friends, I don't want to bring up things that is offensive to them as well. But I'm smack in the middle because I have an Indian heritage and I have an American family who is rooted in Episcopal tradition. So I love both of them. And I have my Hindu hand, which wears only bangles, no gold. I have my husband's rich hand, rich man's wife hand, where every path, like in America, I follow with my traditional Christian wedding, my Hindu wedding. Like, I a unification of everything. And when I asked my teacher, how do I incorporate all this and still be the mother I need to be? He said, pursue your Shakti Sandam. He says, that's the spindle in the middle that knows who you are. You will always be able to remember who you are. It comes from the powerful patience. And I love that. He called it Shakti Sandan, meaning power of patience. And I love that. And he says the flow of the river is what melts the rock. It's not the force of the river. And to portray that, there is a specific prayer thread which I trademark in America called prayer thread, which in India they call it Kashi thread. And they actually had Shakti who was bit into 54 pieces, which was thrown all over India. She was allowed to continue as one piece. When I went to Kumbakonam last year, she is in the same temple where Kamadhenu is. I didn't realize it. Oh, it was so healing. I think I went to India. Was it 2014? Yeah, 2014. That's when I found her. And her name is called Shakti Vaneshwari. And She was the 55th piece, who happens to be the forest. So all the roots are tied together, and they have a research where all the forests, the roots talk to each other. So India, it's a banyan tree. In America, it's a redwood tree. Doesn't matter what tree I am, I'm going to be that Shakti Sandan, and I'm going to be deeply rooted in my belief system, which is the power of patience. And I'm going to follow the teachings of my teacher, Nityananda, for my personal growth, but at the same time for the world to be the patience, power of patience through Positive Anonymous 12-step program. And from today, I've been ordained as the person who would not find fault with others. And my spiritual sponsor, I'm declaring as my Nityananda Maha Sadashiva as my Guru. And I'm so grateful for this blessing. Thank you, teacher, for giving me this opportunity. I'm going to play this video where he does say how this whole thing evolved.
When Sadashiva described about the trust in the Agama, Sadashiva beautifully describes about food, dress, place of stay, such precise definitions. If you are new to Hindu tradition, I will introduce the word Agama. Agama means Sadashiva expressed, Devi received, and Vishnu adopted that as a software to run the universe. Agama is oldest and most updated software to run the universe. Oldest and most updated. Incarnations are the updations. How when you open your gadgets, iPad or laptop, that update requests come. Same way when you happen on the planet Earth, incarnations appearing in your life is update requests. Understand? The Guru happening in your life is update request. You can say not now. You can say remind me later. You can say now. You have a freedom. But Guru happening in your life is opening not just Windows 10 or Windows 11. It's a door. It's an update request. We have updated. Please download. Given by Sadashiva, received by Devi, adopted as a software to run the universe by Sadashiva, by Vishnu, is Agama. Given by Sadashiva, received by Devi, adopted as a software to run the universe by Vishnu. Maintainer, cosmic maintainer, is Agama. It describes beautifully in Agama. Sadashiva describes very beautifully about food. It describes whatever your physical body, Bhautika Sarira, cannot absorb directly from the nature to run itself in highest energy, should be added as a food in the system. It's a very beautiful truth. If I have to start explaining, it will take, I think, another 2-3 hours. I give just 2 lines because it is required for you to understand this basic 2-3 understandings. So I'll help you to understand the second principle. The second principle needs little introduction. He says, first you should directly start working with the nature, like breathing, walking barefoot, taking bath in the local water body. With all these, at least for 21 days, work with all this without any solid food. Surely you won't die in 21 days. With a deep breathing means whatever body can absorb directly from the nature. Lot of detoxification will happen in the 21 days. Just with the water, breathing, whatever body can directly absorb from the nature by walking the barefoot and completing with all the foot patterns. Then, after that, whatever is needed for the body, only support those things in the form of food. The very concept of food is different. Not that wherever you see the big boards and whatever biggest size they sell. Now the very concept of food, see, go to fundamentals again and again when you have a problem. When you have a problem, again and again, go to fundamentals. Same way clothes. Actually, clothes is not very simple issue. It's too much of complication. Somebody feels empowered by modesty, covering themselves completely. Somebody feels empowered by nudity, exposing themselves. Somebody feels empowered by mixture of both. Sadashiva says beautifully, whatever empowers you, design your dress in that way. Neither nudity nor modesty, neither covering yourself completely nor exposing yourself completely. If you are exposing yourself completely for the sake of somebody to see and enjoy, and you are covering yourself completely because somebody is threatening you to cover yourself, both are male chauvinism. Whether it is female body or male body, covering or nudity, modesty or nudity, everything, the scale should be, are you feeling empowered? That's all. It is all about you feeling empowered. There should not be any other interferences. External interference or influence based on somebody's ideas. If somebody feels powerless, you are nude, then he has to cover himself, not you. Understand? Things should be your powerfulness. If you feel powerful by covering yourself completely, modestly, then that should be your lifestyle. That should be your way of holding yourself. In every level, the explanations of Sadashiva and the kind of an understanding he gives. Now listen to the second principle. neither your ideas about being your own boss is right, nor they are wrong. Listen carefully. Coming to the same understanding principle, neither your nudity nor your modesty is right or wrong. If you are feeling empowered by covering yourself, that is your dress code. If you are feeling empowered by exposing yourself, that is your dress code. What all the ideas about being your own boss empowers you? Listen, when I say empowering, making you feel powerful, joyful, ecstatic, I tell you, sometimes you do some politicking and jump into the seat of the boss. Then you know from where you jump to where. Potato felt the pot and the water in the pot is too hot and it jumped into the fire. Because the pot and the water in the pot is too hot, potato jumping into the fire. Precise stupidity you do because the seat of a worker seems to be too hot, you jump into the seat of the boss. Understand, feeling empowered matters. Feeling complete matters. You may say, no, I just grab the seat. In 6 months, I become all right. You may become insensitive, but you will not become all right. That is like astrologers telling, oh, next 7.5 years you have Shade Sat. After 2.5 years, Rahu. Then again, 3 years, very bad. Grahas. Then after I will become all right. No, you will be habituated. Now that is exactly, if you are consoling yourself, let me grab the seat by hook or crook. Then in 6 months, I'll become all right. No, you may become insensitive, but you will not become all right. And one more thing, whenever you become insensitive to some parts of you, that develops as a blind spot and continues to torture you. Understand? Continues to torture you. Completion matters. Feeling empowered matters. To be your own boss. So second principle, listen. Second principle is completing your cognition of slavery, being a subordinate, being a staff, being worker, not being boss. Completion is a second principle. Of course, third principle is responsibility. I call it responsibilism. I want to make this responsibility as a religion. As of now, the religion we practice, at least in India, 3C: cricket, corruption, cinema. 3C is the religion we practice. For any problem, the solution we look is cinema. That's the largest referred spiritual solution center. Whenever you have a problem, where you look at? In that movie, how he does. This movie, how he behaves. Our education system is basically a visual-based system. That is why, if you see all our temples and monuments, can challenge. No other civilization produced such large amount of monuments. I want you to know 1 crore means 10 million stone carved monuments exist in India. As per the government report, stone carved monuments. I'm not talking about RCC. We don't respect anything which is 1,000 years, less than 1,000 years old. Only if something is 1,000 years old, we even respect. And only if it can withstand 1,000 years, we call them as something decent structure. See, because basically our cognition is janmas. It's not birth. Understand, janmas. Janma is different from birth. The word birth is not complete translation of the word janma. Janma means happening. It's from the samdhatu, sambhava. Janma. Birth means it's totally different. The very idea of birth is totally different. Born. We don't believe in birth. We believe only in happening. Sambhava. They are happening. Born means something created out of nothing. No. They are sambhava. Happening. Listen to this truth. The second principle is completion with all the reasons with which you are living, the reasons which are pushing you to become boss. Understand? When you, any reasons you have to become boss, relive them. If they are powerless cognitions, incompletions, they will die. If they are powerful cognitions, they will become strong. That's all. See, reliving is literally acid wash. All the unnecessary things will be washed, necessary things will be strengthened. Listen. Reliving is nothing but manana in Vedic tradition. Internalizing. Many times you grab out of greed and that does not get digested. That's what you need to sit and chew. Ideas also you grab out of greed, but it does not get digested. It sits inside your head undigested. Digesting them is manana. Digesting all your logically, emotionally accumulated, acquired ideas into your cognition properly is completion. Understand? In your length, logic, breath, emotion, visualization, the ideas, concepts you grab, dump, cognizing them rightly into your depth, making them as right cognition by manana, reliving is completion. Understand? I am redefining completion. When you relive all the ideas you have again and again, all the ideas which makes you powerless starts dying down. They lose power over you. All the ideas which makes you powerful become stronger. They start growing in you. Understand? What needs to grow grows. What needs to go goes. The power of reliving is what needs to go goes. What needs to grow grows. Add or reliving, something goes, something grows. Let me explain clearly the principle of reliving. Listen to this principle. Whatever you wrote as reason, why you want to become a boss, do not judge those reasons. Just sit and relive the situations when you took those decisions. Just relive them. Means visualize and see again and again exactly as it happened. In which situation you decided you have to take revenge on this fellow by becoming boss. I'll throw my visiting card on his table. I'll throw my visiting card on his face. I'll throw my shoes on his face and my tie on his neck. Tie. You may have what are, I don't know. The situations during which you took the decision to become boss, the reason you want to become boss, relive them. Whatever you wrote, can you just read for a few minutes so you can understand what I am saying and enter into manana, reliving now. Relive every situation in your life in which you decided to become your own boss. The incidents, situations made you decide to be your own boss. Relive them and relieve them. Come back to learn the next principle. Today I gave you only 2 basic principles. The next is most important principle. Come back to get that. That will make you your own boss.
So he's going to complete this workshop, or rather, actually, he did already. Then he's doing another one, which is a free workshop this weekend. And why did I record this? This I'm recording because I violated one of the Sangha's rules, so I was not qualified to conduct this workshop this weekend, which I was posting about teaching from other people. But what I want to bring back is I was asking one of my patients who's a Christian. He said that he's very scared to really talk about any other religion. I mean, I was not bringing up religion, of course. Like, we were talking, and he said he's scared to like even understand anything else because he feels there's a severe punishment in Christianity. So I was just asking him a question. I said, can you answer me? Do you think the world existed 2,000 years ago? Because you're a true Christian, right? So I said, what do you think the answer is? So he told me he believes it did because he is very scared to look beyond 2,000 years before Christ was here. So that was a little surprising for me, how people are so, what is it called? Ingrained by the respect for their teacher. They don't want to voice opinion that's different from them. And that's kind of happening in other way in India too. So I feel finding a balance is very important for me personally as a mother, because I feel I'm raising children from both cultures and they can choose what they want. Being in America, I welcome everybody to be their own, because I don't believe in right or wrong. But Just like how he says it in the right context, I feel the context is whatever makes you powerful, follow that, provided do not discredit other teachings. That's all he's saying. But I think people are viewing it in a way that doesn't make sense. So for me, he gave me the option of doing Shakti Sandan, which is the stillness space inside where I don't need to speak, just show up in action. So mine is actually there is a goddess who just by wearing a prayer thread with a bell that will ring whenever she walks. She walked the walk and never talked. And I feel that's my religion. I'm going to walk the walk. And I feel I'm going to just understand what others are saying so I can be the biggest and brightest potential in me. If 12 step is all about attracting, not promoting. So I'm going to attract people who want to do the right thing and doing it their way, but at the same time to bring them to the next level. That is what I decided to follow. That's the reason I'm recording this video. And out of tremendous respect for my teacher, I incorporated this video. And I love every being on this world who is showing true mother spirit and nurturing and caring for everybody. Like Ralph Waldo Emerson said, even if one being breathed easier because you lived, you have succeeded. That's outer image, he calls it. So that's success to me. But coming from the inner value, Stephen Covey says, make a mission statement. So my mission statement I wrote here is to stabilize families. That is my mission. And my vision is resoluteness. Because whatever is the given situation, know what is legally right. Legality will be severe, balance it with what is morally fair. My goal is to stabilize families, and my value is 12 step. And my project is to be a spiritual mirror, which means I am going to mirror my teacher in his way of conducting himself. So I'd be the best possible student he had. Okay. Thank you so much. Nitya means eternal, Ananda means bliss. So he usually ends his sermon with be blissful. So I am hoping to everybody that they go into that space of blissfulness and they empower themselves by being in the space of powerful patience. That's my blessings to the world. Thank you. I'm going to stop my recording.